Our teachers have just gone above and beyond this year. There's no playbook for what they're doing. You know, we're really trying to focus on how do we support students at a time where they're not in the controlled environment that's always been school. How do we support students that, again, have differently abled abilities, students that might be multilingual learners, and our teachers have gone above and beyond doing everything that they can to be so student-centered and really make sure that we're addressing the needs of the students.
I try to bring out the best in my students just by making them comfortable and feel like they can try their best and it's not going to hurt them if they fail. That's the benefit of having a lot of formative assessment and less formal summative assessment, is that they have more opportunities to take risks. So I think just them knowing that I care about them and that comfort usually goes a long way with that, and just making them feel comfortable enough to try.
You know, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot going on. And our teachers, again, through all the technology, through the collaborative work they do each week together, they found ways to write a playbook for something that didn't exist, right? They're learning all new technological skills. They're learning all new ways of teaching, going back to the drawing board constantly to really see, hey, how can we make this better? How can we do better for our kids? And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Our students, them learning, and really them having that adult that they can trust and feel like they can go to. I'm really confident we have that here at West Broadway, and Mr. McVay is a fantastic example of that.
So one thing that I have noticed really helps me keep track of students, build relationships, all of that stuff, is the fact that on Fridays I don't Zoom. Social studies doesn't Zoom. So what I've been doing all day today is I've been on GoGuardian, watching students as they work, so I can actually see where the disconnect is happening. I can see how well they actually understand things. It gives me a totally different perspective, and I'm taking data the whole time. I'm taking notes, I'm making notations on my roster so I know what I need to work on the following week. So just having that day, it gives them a chance to make up work. It lets me focus on one aspect. So just having that extra day to process data also, and have that extra avenue of collecting it and reaching out to students and having conversations. Like, I had a whole list of kids that I knew I needed to check in with today, and they were on GoGuardian and I was able to, and they made a lot of progress. So I find that to be very helpful, very successful so far. It's just a really good way to me, to constructively help them and see what they're doing, see how they're understanding. A lot of formative assessment.
So formative assessments have been a huge piece of both our virtual learning and in-person learning during the pandemic. You know, it's been something that, again, teachers are collecting data from when students come into the classroom doing do nows, as well as when they're doing exit tickets to see, okay, did what I taught students learn? Right? And that's the key component, because if students aren't learning it, right, we're finding other modalities to make sure that the students are getting access to those standards, really being able to talk to a teacher and conference with them so they can learn that material, and then later on getting those big summative assessments where now they can prove what they've learned in a high stakes setting. But without those formative assessments to really touch base and check in and really gauge the temperature of what students have learned, we would not be able to have the success that teachers like Mr. McVay have had this year.
It is important what I do. I feel like making sure that they have a safe space and giving them a better experience than I had in middle school is important. For me, that's the number one thing. That's why I'm still here until I get up in the morning.